Hi, this is James Pereira. So today I would like to talk about a lot of stuff that's happening in Malaysia in the employment field. Now, this morning on my LinkedIn feed, I saw an advertisement for a human resources executive. And as you can see here, of course, I'm going to block out the person's name. And this company, Heng Grocery Trading, they want a human resource executive. And what you can see there, a couple of things which I don't find comfortable. I'm not too sure if you agree with me, but when you put a salary of 300 per day, automatically I would think, wow, this is pretty good, 9,000 a month. But then I think about it again and I think to myself, is it per working day? So does it include weekends or does it exclude weekends? Does it exclude or does it include your sick leave, your public holidays, and so on? So what does it mean actually? So on the surface, it looks pretty exciting. And I mean, we are in a pandemic, and I would probably jump at this offer if I am jobless, right? And I would submit the application. And okay, the location is somewhere in Klang Valley. And if you look at the job scope, this turns even more interesting now. You are supposed to do daily online operation. I'm not too sure what exactly that is. And secondly, you are responsible for the daily shop traffic and statistics. Now, what does a human resource executive got to do with something like daily shop traffic and statistics, which in my mind is a marketing function? So that blows my mind apart because I really don't, I can't comprehend what exactly is required. And there's a link there to apply. So let me just click on the link and see where we end up. All right. So this is where this is, it says, okay, apply here. That's about it. Nothing else about uh, the the company, except that it says it's part-time details. So it is a part-time job now from 1st February to 28th February. So maybe that's why they put there 300 per day. And job responsibilities, it is repeating what is stated on the LinkedIn ad or posting. It works, you work from home. That's pretty good. Um, yeah, but that's about it. Huh? There is nothing else. Requirements, gender, no preference. That's nice. Language, no limit to your language. That's interesting. No limit. Nationality, no limit. Education, no limit. I find this a little bit odd when you put no limit rather than a specific field or criteria there. So let me just go back here. And so the reason why I started thinking about this is a couple of days ago, I think it was yesterday, you may have seen these news article on Free Malaysia Today about the shenanigans at this courier firm, J&T. And the courier firm is apologizing for their workers who went on a rampage against parcels. They were chucking the parcels and not really handling them with care. And they have also broken into some of the parcels and consumed food. That's a summary of what I see in this article. And all this misunderstanding was because the workers, the delivery workers, got the impression that the commissions or bonuses were being slashed. And if you read all the way down, you find that the company has said that it is a management fault. So I'm glad that they admitted that it's an internal shortcomings of its internal management. That's what it says here, which had caused this dissatisfaction. So what comes through my mind is that it's great. It's not very often that a company will own up to its own shortcomings. And they're admitting that somebody in the management screwed up big time, actually. Because now, what we can see also from this article is I think they were mentioning that the company management is deciding how they're going to compensate the customers whose packages were either damaged or were had the contents stolen by the workers. And in today FMT article, same thing about this company. It says that the Postal Union plans to get these workers from J&T Express to be unionized. So it's not a fun thing. I mean, if you're in management, you know that when the unions get involved, your life becomes so much harder. It's never fun. Now, in my 22-year career with Big Pharma, uh, the reps were never organized. I mean, they were never in the union, and life was so much easier. And my take on this is that you do not need unions if the management is ethical and prescribes a certain moral standard. Unlike this company J&T, where and this is where the point I'm coming to. The point I'm trying to make is that in Malaysia, and I am a leadership trainer today, as well as a sales trainer. And the common theme that I tend to see is that among all companies, many of the companies that I work with, I have prospected with for my training programs, the underlying theme seems to be a horrible state of communications. I don't know whether it's because of our culture as Malaysians. We've been brought up by parents who do not allow us to speak freely our mind. The government definitely doesn't want us to speak freely. That's why we have all these weird regulations where you can be taken to jail or you can be charged for seditious articles. You cannot state your mind because you are insulting somebody or other. And in Malaysia, the law states that if you say something defamatory, it's a crime. So the government will get involved. The Attorney General's chambers will charge you for defaming somebody else, not necessarily defaming a person in government, but it could be a private citizen that you're being charged for. That's all a bit weird. These are all laws from the 1940s and 50s, which are still being retained. And so these are all the weird things. And of course, I also believe that probably is because of our education system. When you're in school, you're not encouraged to question your teacher because your teacher will thump you down and challenge you to prove that or insult your intelligence because your teacher has gone to, college and you haven't. So that's our upbringing, and we carry it probably forward to the workplace as well. And we do not communicate clearly. We tend to hide stuff. And I think what has happened here, just like in the first company I showed you, where they're advertising for a human resources executive, nothing is clear. Why don't you be clear? What this company ought to do is, if you really want people and, fast, and not take up your time and bog your time with going through screening interviews, just put it out there. What exactly are you looking for? Now, that jobs requirements that is placed for that company. Let me just show that company again. Yeah, this company, it's insufficient. Okay, if you want serious people, this is not going to cut it. And back to this company, J&T. So the communication here, I can guess, and this is what I've seen. A lot of companies, first of all, they only have a job description. Many of them do it well, but that's about it. That's where they stop. The job requirements, as you have seen in the other companies, very sketchy. You do not know who exactly you require, and therefore you go with your emotions when you're finally selecting someone. That's the wrong way to do it, because this person will probably not even do a good job because you don't know who you needed to employ. And the other thing also, and coming back to J&T, what I am guessing is that these guys screwed up big time because they probably didn't communicate well with their delivery staff, whether it was in the warehouse or the drivers themselves. What exactly the commissions are going to be, the bonuses, how does it work? And probably there was not even employee handbook in the first place. And I've seen this, it's very common. There's no employee handbook. When they join, there's no onboarding at all. So things are a bit topsy-turvy in a lot of these Malaysian companies. And when I say Malaysian companies, I don't just mean companies that are homegrown. I have seen the same thing even in multinational companies, but the employees are Malaysians. The same thing, bad communications and stuff like that. So it's that's why I'm thinking it's a Malaysian thing actually. and we need to really boost our communication skills. For some reason, we feel that there is more power if we don't communicate. Studies have shown that when you communicate more, you actually distribute power. Your entire organization becomes more powerful, not less powerful, when you communicate clearly and openly. Transparency is always the best policy. It has worked for me. And I'm so glad that when I think about things now and in my leadership trainings, as well as my selling skills trainings, I've realized that when I look back at the companies that I worked for, the ones that did well, what we did, this is what I term now as the 5 rights wheel. We implemented the 5 rights wheel effectively and efficiently. Sure, I'm not saying that we never made mistakes, we did. But when you implement the 5 rights wheel correctly, you will know how to overcome the problems that crop up. Problems will always crop up, especially in this digital world that we are working in this pandemic world that we are working. So if you are keen to find out what exactly is this 5 rights wheel, just message me in the comment box below or in any other way that you want to message me, and I'll get back to you. So I hope this was helpful and fun as it was for me doing this video recording. Bye-bye. Thanks very much for watching this video.